everyone, welcome in our next video. What is multiplying terms with brackets? So far we've met four rules. So we know how to add and subtract terms, how to multiply them, and what to do with the powers. Today we'll focus on multiplying terms with brackets. Okay, so let's start with really simple one. So we have 4 in here, and we have a bracket, and in bracket we have 4 minus 3. So we know that if we don't have anything between 4 and a bracket, that means we need to multiply it. So 4 multiplied by the bracket. Okay, and if we have few terms in a bracket, that means we need to multiply 4 by every single term in the bracket. Okay. Okay, so we are using distributive property, and we need to distribute the numbers. Okay, so we need to multiply 4 by x, so I ask you to draw the arrows. It's really helpful. Okay, so for today you need to draw the arrows, what you want to multiply. Okay, so 4 multiplied by x, and then we have 4 multiplied by minus 3. Okay, so 4 by minus 3 is minus 12, so we can write down 4x minus 12. The next one, so we have two brackets in here. Okay, so look at the first one. As I said, we need to multiply 5 by every single term in a bracket. Okay, so we have 5 multiplied by 2a and 5 multiplied by 3. So 5 multiplied by 2a plus 5 multiplied by 3. Okay, look at the next one. We don't have any number in here, we have just minus. But if we have minus, that means it's minus 1. Okay, so we need to multiply minus 1 by 3a and minus y by minus 4. Or you can simply just bear in mind, if we have minus in here and no number, we need to change every single sign in the bracket. Okay, so we have minus 1 multiplied by 3a and minus 1 multiplied by minus 4. And that gives us minus 3a. And minus 1 multiplied by minus 4, so we are multiplying two negatives, the answer is positive. Equals, so we have 5 by 2, so we are using one of the rules we've met so far, number by number, letter by letter, so 5 by 2 is 10a, plus 5 multiplied by 3 is 15, minus 3a, and plus 4. Now what to do? We need to just simplify it. Okay, so this is another rule we've met. So we need to group it. We can add apples to apples. So we have 10 apples minus 3 apples, and that gives us 7 apples. And then number and number. So 15 plus 4 plus 19. Okay, take it down, please. Now, look at this question. We have two brackets in here, okay, and we have 3 terms, different terms in a bracket, and the rule is the same. We need to multiply 3 by every single term in the bracket, and then we need to multiply minus 2 by every single term in a bracket. So let's start. Let's start with the arrows. So 3 multiplied by 2b squared, 3 multiplied by 3b, and 3 multiplied by minus 1. Okay, then we have 3 multiplied by 2b squared plus 3 is positive. Okay, so 3 multiplied by positive 3b, that's still positive, and then we have 3 multiplied by minus 1. Okay, And that's it for this bracket. Let's see at the other one. And the same. We need to multiply 2 by every single term in the bracket. So minus 2 multiplied by b squared, minus 2 multiplied by minus 2b, and minus 2 multiplied by minus 1, okay? Use colors, it's really, really helpful. And draw the arrows. So minus 2 multiplied by b squared, then minus 2 multiplied by minus 2b, and then minus 2 multiplied by minus 1. Okay, equals. Okay, so let's try example number 2. In this case, we have a term in front of the bracket, okay? So we did number multiplied by bracket. Now we have term multiplied by bracket, okay? So we have a number and a letter in front of the bracket, and then few terms in the bracket. And the rule is the same. We need to multiply it by every single term in the bracket. So let's start with drawing arrows. So 2y multiplied by y, and 2y multiplied by minus 4. Okay, so we have 2y multiplied by y, and then plus 2y is positive, so we need to write down plus 2y multiplied by minus 4, okay? So then we have 2y multiplied by y is 2y squared, y multiplied by y is y squared, not 2y, plus 2y multiplied by minus 4 is negative 8y. So you can leave it as it is in here, or you can just write down 2y squared minus 8y. Okay, the next one, we have negative x in front of the bracket, okay? And the rule is the same. We need to multiply minus x by every single term in a bracket, okay? So the first step, draw the arrows. And we have minus x multiplied by 3x squared and minus x multiplied by minus 2x. Okay, and using the rule, letter by letter, number by number, we have minus x multiplied by 3x squared. So x by x squared gives you x to the power of 3, and it's negative because you have one negative and one positive. Okay, so minus 3x to the power of 3, and then you have minus x multiplied by minus 2x, so two negatives, that gives you plus 2, and x multiplied by x is x squared. That's it. And the last one in here, so we have two brackets. Okay, so again we need to break it down step by step. First of all, draw the arrows. Okay, so we have here and here and here. Right, so 2a multiplied by a and 2a multiplied by minus 3. So 2a multiplied by a plus 2a multiplied by minus 3. Then we need to look at the second part, and we have minus 4a multiplied by a squared, minus 4a multiplied by minus 2a, and minus 4a multiplied by minus 1. Okay, so we need to write it down. Minus 4a multiplied by a squared, minus 4a multiplied by minus 2a, and minus 4a multiplied by minus 1. Okay, now using the next rule, letter by letter, number by number, okay? So 2a multiplied by a by a is a squared, so we have 2a squared. Next one, 2a multiplied by minus 3, we have positive and negative, so that is negative 6a. Then we have minus 4a multiplied by a squared, the same number by number, letter by letter. So we have minus 4, and a multiplied by a squared is a to the power of 3. Okay, next one, minus 4a multiplied by minus 2a, and two negatives gives you plus. Then number by number, 4 by 2 is 8. Letter by letter, a by a is a squared. And the last one, minus 4a by minus 1, negative by negative. So first of all, that gives you positive, and then minus 4 by minus 1 is 4 and a. Okay, and now the last step, simplifying, okay, grouping. So adding the same or alike like terms. And the same, use colors to underline it, okay? Make your notes nice and neat. So we have 2a squared. 2a squared is positive, plus 8a squared. Minus 6a plus 4a. And the last one is minus 4a to the power of 3. Okay, so we have 2a squared plus 8a squared is 10, 8a squared. And then minus 6a plus 4a is minus 2a, and minus 4a to the power of 3. Okay, take your time, write it down nice and neat. If you have any questions, you can ask me tomorrow, okay? Make sure you have all examples in your copies. So for our summary, for the end, we are using distributive property in this lesson. So you need to distribute the number across the terms inside the bracket, okay? So you need to write down the arrows, and you need to bear in mind that you need to multiply the number or the term in front of the bracket with every single term inside the bracket, okay? Then you need to write all the terms, and then you need to simplify it if you can. So you are still using the first 4 rules you've met, okay? So for your homework, try to do A and B, so there are really easy questions. And see you tomorrow.